London welcomed the North West neighbours to contest the 50th FA Cup final to be held at Wembley since the end of the Second World War. Manchester United were looking to retain the trophy, having beaten Chelsea 4-0 the previous season, while Everton were in their first final since the All-Merseyside clash of 1989. Everton had met 3 Premier League teams en route to the final, thrashing Norwich 5-0 and Tottenham 4-1. Manchester United had found progress more difficult, needing a replay against Crystal Palace in the semi-final to book their passage to Wembley. These two last met at this stage 10 years ago, when an extra-time goal from Norman Whiteside denied the Toffees an historic treble. Although this time round, United were the undeniable favourites.
What a tonic it would be for the English game if these two famous clubs could serve up a cup final to savour at the end of this traumatic campaign. The ingredients are certainly there. Both sides boasting a host of internationals, and of course in terms of pedigree, well, there's so much expertise. 25 FA Cup finals between them. So confirmation of the lineups, starting with Everton. Joe Royle had the task of choosing from a squad of 17 fit players, and this is the 11 that he's plumped for. The most intriguing, of course, is omission of Duncan Ferguson. Although he has only just come back from a double hernia operation, he was expected to play, but instead Royle's choice up front is the semi-final pairing of Graham Stewart and Paul Rideout. In midfield, he's again preferred Joe Parkinson to John Eberl. Well, there was really only one dilemma facing Alex Ferguson, whether or not to include Ryan Giggs after his dramatic recovery from injury. He's decided not to, leaving him on the bench. So Nicky Butt keeps his place along with Brian McClare. They were the two players most at risk by Giggs' return. The rest of the side is as expected, with 20-year-old Gary Neville at right back after being reprieved when the FA elected not to suspend him for collecting too many bookings. This is Gary Ablett up towards Rideout, who I'm sure will be aware throughout of the presence of Ferguson on the bench, and if things aren't going too well, Joe Royle has that trump card to play. On by Bruce to Mark Hughes, now Ince. Options ahead of him with Roy Keane. There, the first interception of the game by Barry Horne, a terrier-like figure in the midfield for Everton, alongside Joe Parkinson. Two very combative and aggressive players. Neville Southall playing today his 650th match in goal for Everton. Away by Pallister. Here's Dave Watson, captain of Everton. Now Horne, hustled out of his stride though by McClare. Off goes Keane. Hughes ahead of him. Butt had gone out wide. Hughes has found him now. This is Butt. And in goes Hughes, and Sharp. He arrived with such stealth then, Lee Sharp at the far post. Nicky Butt involved in the build-up.
It was a good cross here from Nicky Butt, and you can see Lee Sharp arriving at the back over the top of Matt Jackson, and he just couldn't direct the header down, but it all came from a slip by Barry Horne in the middle of the field.
Nicky Butt, one of Fergie's fledglings as they're known. Mark Hughes, who holds the play up so well, playing in his 5th FA Cup final. Here's Hughes now. Outmanoeuvred though by Horne, and then by Parkinson to Limpar. Probably the best passer of the ball on either side today, Limpar, but you never know quite what to expect from him. Certainly unpredictable. Here's Limpar now. His first Wembley final. Looking to thread his way through. Limpar with a shot, and just beaten away at the last end by Peter Schmeichel. Got down really well then to make the save. And there we saw the devilry of Anders Limpar.
Well, he had a little bit of luck to actually get to that position, but he struck it so hard that Schmeichel could do nothing else but just touch it round the post.
Now Hinchcliffe with the corner. Curled over invitingly, and Schmeichel just got his fit to it first. It really is such a key part of Everton's armoury now, these corners flighted over by Andy Hinchcliffe. Limpar, beaten though by McClare. This is Horne. Right out in the middle, but Pallister is there. He'll have the task of policing him this afternoon. I don't know whether he'll be relieved that Ferguson isn't starting, but he will certainly have his work cut out too, Pallister, in containing Paul Rideout, who's been in excellent form over the past few weeks. Schmeichel, an important save from him early on. Here's Ince. Good anticipation though by Watson. Now young Gary Neville. Just 20 years old, Neville. The referee has blown for the foul. Onsworth on Hughes. So here's a chance sent for United, maybe for Ince to strike one. Owen, of course, who's underlined so often this season, is shooting from long range. 4 goals in the FA Cup from Owen in this campaign. He's the top scorer in the competition for United. Ince is there too. And here is Dennis Irwin, straight into the wall. Irwin again, down for Keane. And McClare! A clever piece of thinking. Just wanted Southall, maybe a yard or two off his line. But harmlessly over the bar in the end.
Yes, it was a clever piece of thinking there, because you can see him look up there quickly, see where Southall is, and just that delicate little chip, but Southall always in control of the situation. Even if that had been on target, he'd have made a save there. But that's typical Brian McClare. He is a thinking player. He's the Man United players call him the most intelligent player they've got in the club, so you could see his brains working there.
Pallister up for Hughes. It's a foul by Watson, who clattered into the back of him. I think it's going to be quite a battle between those two.
Yes, here we see it there. Watson can only see the ball. It's actually his elbow, I think, that goes into the back of Hughes' head, not actually Watson's head.
Steve Bruce on for Butt. Turned really sharply then, still Butt. Way by Jackson, but only as far as Ince. Didn't really get hold of it, but a pause for Sharp. And the same applied to him, and that will go down as a squandered opportunity.
It certainly will, but they were a little bit fortunate to get it, because Ince obviously tried the shot, and then there was a lucky deflection. Here we see the shot, see the deflection, and there it just bounces so invitingly for Lee Sharp on his favourite left foot, but completely kicks across it and takes the pace out of it and makes it a simple save for Neville.
Hughes has pulled into the centre, McClare as well. This is Butt, faced but not fouled in the eyes of the referee by David Unsworth. Limpar. Jackson's clearance, and Rideout has failed to keep it in play. Either side quite producing the necessary cohesion so far. Just 1 or 2 half chances. There's certainly one that Lee Sharp had for Manchester United. McClare on for Keane. Butt making the run ahead of him. Support on the right flank now then from Gary Neville. Keane again. Now Hughes. Here's Keane. McClare. On by Sharp to Ince. But Everton's defence standing firm. Now, can they launch the counter-attack? Off goes Limpar. Stewart in oceans of space away to his left. This is Jackson. Right out in the middle. Still Jackson. And Stewart! It's there. Right up. Everton take the lead at the second attempt, albeit. Paul Rideout. Manchester United in disarray at the back. Caught there by the speed and the punch of the counter-attack.
Well, that was amazing, wasn't it? Because all of a sudden, United were outnumbered 4-2 and they just couldn't get the players. Look at the Everton players. There's 4 Everton players and only 3 United. And really, Stewart should have scored with the first attempt here. It's laid across to him. He really's got to score with this. He hits it, but thankfully it bounces out to Ridehouse, who makes no mistake whatsoever. But Alex Ferguson will be wondering how on earth could they break 4 against 2 to cause that sort of problem.
Half an hour gone. And the first blow delivered by Everton, Paul Ryder. Keane, too long though, in search of Lee Sharp. Certainly a much different story to last year when United, of course, outclassed Chelsea. Comprehensive winners by 4 goals to 0. But they have met their match this afternoon in Everton. Ince knocked on then for Giggs. He's got support in the middle, still Giggs, lovely play. Off Watson, and there's McClare! Off the crossbar! With Southall struggling to get back. Ryan McClare so close.
Well, it's a wonderful piece of trickery over the far side. There we see Giggs going around, delightful ball in. And Southall really, it might have just got the slightest of touches to that, but Parkinson, who's been outstanding all the game, managed to get his head on and clear that ball.
Such tantalising play then by Ryan Giggs, teasing Everton in the way they didn't really do in the first half. Now Amokachi is going to come on, which I'm sure will delight all our viewers back in his home Nigeria. Limpar going off, and Daniel Amokachi, the hero of the semi-final with his 2 goals against Tottenham, comes on again. Those 2 goals coming, of course, as a substitute. Whether Joe Royle felt maybe Anders Limpar had run out of steam, I don't know. Here's Giggs with the corner. Nicky Butt. Pallister. Everton prepared to soak up the pressure and hope to launch the odd attack of their own as they defend this 1-goal lead. Ryan Giggs now. McClare's in the middle, and it's McClare. Still they can't force it through. Southall to clear in the end. Some pretty desperate defending then by Everton. McClare, who couldn't finish it off. Scholes to Roy Keane. Scholes again. Congested penalty area. And the header, oh! Pallister! And Southall clings on to it.
Well, it was just the right height for a goalkeeper of Neville's class to make the best of that, but it's a good header up there from Pallister, but Neville's always in control of the situation there. I say, somebody of his ability, he would probably class that as a simple save, although I'm sure all the Evertonians thought that was a magnificent save.
They are rather inviting United to come at them. Parkinson's header. Pump forward then by Neville. Scholes is after it. Who's there? Neville Southall. Nice one, Neville. Amokachi at Ferguson. Just nicked back though by Gary Neville. Watson got his head to that one. Scholes with Unsworth. Helped out then by Gary Ablett. Happy to clear anywhere. Roy Keane. Now Nicky Butt and McClare. You certainly never write off Manchester United, such are their fighting qualities. Remember Oldham in the semi-final last season when Hughes saved them with that dramatic goal. Joe Royle won't need reminding of that. Hinchcliffe. Ferguson with Pallister. And he slipped. Ferguson's away. Amokachi in the middle, and Horn. Keane to the rescue. Now Gary Pallister, so relieved then to see that chance go begging. Ferguson. Keane being hounded by Amokachi, but United's goal kick. They're looking very anxious now, all around the stadium, those who follow Manchester United. A gripping finale in prospect. Paul Ince driving United on. Nicky Butt. Now Ince. Giggs. Didn't make a decisive contact though. Bobby Charlton wondering if his team can find an equaliser. Block throw by Neville. It was a prodigious one too. Amokachi on the break. 5 minutes to go. Barry Horn. A late tackle, the first yellow card of the game for Gary Neville. Certainly went in there very abrasively, and no hesitation from referee Gerald Ashby.
Now Barry Horn here, he can just see him coming, tries to turn it, in fact does turn the ball very well, and Neville takes his legs away, and quite rightly, he can have no qualms about that. He's had a lot of bookings this year, as we know, Gary Neville, in fact nearly missed the final through the number of bookings he's had.
Ferguson tangling with Pallister. Off Unsworth, it falls for Ince, down for Scholes. It's very unhappy at the challenge from Horn. Another yellow card, this time for Barry Horn. He's the culprit, having been the aggrieved party a minute or so ago. Couple of cautions in the space of a minute. Scholes to Neville. Everton have everybody back. Matt Jackson. There's no one in the United half with a blue shirt on. Now there is Amokachi. Everton edging their way towards victory. What an end that would be to their season. But it's not over yet. Away by Dave Watson.
Well, they are desperate now, United. They've shoved Pallister right up the front there and just left Roy Keane at the back with Gary Neville. They're really now in a desperate situation to get this equaliser.
But Hughes, bit of tiredness there. Ablett. Now Roy Keane. But bit casual though. In goes Horn. So tigerish in the tackle. There are 3 minutes remaining. Ablett's clearance. Headed on by Ferguson to Amokachi. Keane, though, just doing enough. Right up is his goal. Going to win this cup final. Away by Watson. Tugged then on, but surely by Hinchcliffe. Can't really see why the Everton players are protesting. Schmeichel is going up for the kick. The Manchester United goalkeeper. Well, he's done it before. What happens if Everton break? We'll wait to see. Giggs floating over. Schmeichel almost got on the end of it too. Fire through then by Irwin. And a man who's normally so lethal, normally so deadly, hits it harmlessly and tamely wide.
Yes, it really was a tame shot in the end, but obviously we talked about Pallister going up and now Schmeichel going up, and that's what Irwin did there, was just what Everton wanted. Put the ball behind the goal. Let's take 30 seconds, 45 seconds to get this ball back in play, and we'll just see out time.
Such tension now at Wembley. Ferguson with the header. We're into time added on for stoppages. Pallister, cut out by Unsworth. Pallister again. Mickey Butt for Hughes. Will there be a twist at the tail? It's all about defending now for Joe Royle's team. Keane. Good crotchet tackle again by Horn. That's a foul on Gary Neville. Schmeichel's on his way forward again. Was he going to take the kick? Well, he's certainly taken control of the situation. Not a bad ball either if Pallister can get on the end of it. Hughes just couldn't turn in time. Well, that would have been some story then. Schmeichel planting a perfect cross. Neville with another of those long throws towards Pallister. Graham Stewart. Hacked away by Jackson. Schmeichel on the halfway line. Keane now to Irwin. Chip through. Oh, Neville Southall holding on to the relief of the Evertonians. He came with purpose and he collected.
Well, that was exactly what the Everton defence needed. Neville being big, strong, only got one hand to it, but one hand was enough to pull it down into his chest and take control of it.
Off the head of Irwin. Giggs is after it. Deep into injury time. Hughes in the middle, still Giggs. And that's off Barry Horn for the corner.
Well, Barry Horn and Joe Clark-Parkinson, I can't believe the amount of work they've got through. They have worked so hard for this side. It's incredible.
Giggs taking the kick. Schmeichel can't reach it. And Mukatchi on the break. There's no one in goal for United. What will he do here? Schmeichel's not even trying to get back. And Mukatchi still. Has he got away from McClare? No. Well, Schmeichel is still upfield. Someone will have to go in goal. Amazing game. It's all over. Everton have won the FA Cup. Dave Watson, the captain, who has inspired his team to victory. Manchester United, the favourites, have been beaten by the underdogs. So now the Everton players making their triumphant way up the steps to receive the FA Cup. Dave Watson, a grand old campaigner, 33 years old now. Came to Everton in the late 70s from Norwich, having started his career, of course, with Liverpool. Played in the '89 final against Liverpool for Everton, but this time he's a winner. Shaking hands with His Royal Highness. And there it is, the cup held aloft by Dave Watson.
Everton's triumph was a watershed moment in the competition. It would be another 13 years before an English manager led a side to victory in the competition. In 2008, Harry Redknapp's Portsmouth also became the first club outside the Big Four to win the cup since Everton.